Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, judges. My name is Marilyn, this is Huzaifa, and we're here to present to you our social venture Fundraid. So to begin, I wanted to talk about the world we live in today. As North Americans, we're so privileged and blessed to have countless opportunities and an abundance of guidance along the way. But what about the rest of the world who aren't so fortunate? We are exposed to them. We turn on the news and we see poverty, orphans, and preventable diseases. And in that moment, we care. And in that moment, we connect. But then we turn it off and we become disconnected. So it's not that we don't care for these pressing issues. What matters is how do we sustain this caring, this connection, and integrate it into our daily lives. Well, we're so excited to be here today to tell you guys how Fundraid is the answer to sustaining this connection.
So what is Fundraid? Fundraid is an application for your browser. It's a tiny app that changes the way you view ads online. I'm sure we've all come across ads like these while we're browsing. So how does Fundraid come into play? What Fundraid application does is it scans the page you're browsing and replaces existing irrelevant ads with ads that are relevant to you, allowing you to see better ads about products you're actually interested in, while allowing advertisers to show the right ads to the right people. But the most amazing part about Fundraid is its social impact. You see, when advertisers pay Fundraid to show ads online, 50% of that revenue is donated towards users. The users can then donate that amount towards charitable causes across the globe. As a matter of fact, charities here right now can utilize this platform and use it as a source of alternate funding for the projects they're running. Cool, right? A tiny little app that empowers an average person to do good every day without any additional effort or money from their own pocket. So now let's look at the industry that Fundraid is operating in. As you know, Fundraid needs the internet. And of all the mediums of consumption, the internet is the cheapest, fastest, and increasingly the most influential. So it comes as no surprise that online advertising is second only to TV, and it is closing the gap really fast. Online advertising is growing at a rate of over 20% a year and currently stands at $39.5 billion. As you can see, that's a very lucrative and prosperous industry to venture in. So now, let's look at the unsatisfied needs of this market and how Fundraid will satisfy these gaps. So as we examined the advertising spending of various companies, we were surprised to see that of all the industries to utilize online advertising, the biggest one was the financials industry, with retail and entertainment trailing way behind. Now, this is interesting to note, because in every other medium, it's the opposite. You see, retail and entertainment have much higher ratios, because they take up a much higher chunk of our disposable income. So why this disparity with online advertising? The reason? Bad solutions. You see, the reason these companies are hesitant towards advertising online is because the existing solutions do not provide an effective way for them to advertise. This data proves that although the internet is popular, online advertising is still not at par. But with Fundraid, we hope to change that. By providing a product superior to anything available on the market, Fundraid will help these companies advertise effectively and generously. But before we go into the advantages of our platform, let's look at the competition. Currently, in the online advertising industry, there are three major players: Facebook, Google, and Yahoo. Facebook, although new to the market, has a 16.9% share, which is neck to neck with Google at 16.5%. And Yahoo is trailing in third and decreasing every year. So let's look at the top two then, Facebook and Google. Facebook uses a profile-based advertising system, which means as an advertiser, you can pick the exact age, gender, location, and personality traits of the person you wish to target. And that's the strength of Facebook, making its ads targeted, but still limited to Facebook. Google, on the other hand, uses a content-based approach, which means that sports websites get sport ads, and technology websites get technology ads. And but still though, the strength of Google is its versatility. Because Google ads can be shown on any website on the web, and in any shape and format. And that's the method most websites currently use, making Google ads untargeted, but versatile. So what about Fundraid? Well, Fundraid uses its innovative technology to combine the best of both worlds. We provide profile-based targeting just like Facebook, but still versatility like Google, making our solution, putting it in the perfect position to take advantage of the gaps we previously mentioned in the industry. Another source of Fundraid's competitive advantage is its analytics. See, Fundraid not only tracks the clicks, impressions, and click-through ratios that Google does, and also the social reach of each ad that Facebook does, but using its innovative, intelligent algorithm, Fundraid can predict the exact market you should target for your ad to maximize your return, making sure that each new campaign run with Fundraid is more accurate and more effective than the previous.
Okay, so how does Fundraid work? How does it all come to life? Well, here are three beneficiaries: the people, who are our users, the promoters who advertise, and the projects posted by charities. And to help paint this picture, we'll personify them as Mike, Jack, and Lisa. Mike is a senior student here at Neeley. He enjoys going to the gym and playing football. Jack is an advertiser. He manages the digital strategy for Under Armour. And Lisa, she's an orphan from a village in Latin America. She dreams of becoming a doctor one day, and the Do Good charity is determined to make this happen by building a school in her village. So the story goes, one day, as Mike casually browses online, he reads an article about Fundraid, and he learns that by installing this app on his browser, he can raise money for charity just by surfing the web. Well, that's fantastic, he thinks. So he installs the app and tells Fundraid his demographics and interests. Meanwhile, Jack needs to communicate a new product launch to students just like Mike. And he learns that Fundraid can help him achieve this through his profile-based advertising. So he defines his target market for his ad and pays Fundraid to have it shown. Now when Mike browses the internet, he sees Jack's ad because his profile matches what Jack had defined. Mike is loving the personalized ads that he's seeing. They make an impression on him. And that, makes Jack very happy. So, now going across the globe to Lisa. The Do Good charity learns that through Fundraid, they can receive free funding for their projects. Well, that's just fantastic. So, they decide to post up their charity project to build a school for Lisa. Now, back in Mike's dorm, he sees all this money accumulated in his donation jar, and he decides to make a donation. He browses through the list of projects, and he picks the Build a School project for Lisa, and he donates towards it. Now, the charity receives the money and goes to execute. And in the process, they post up pictures of the schools being built and a video message from Lisa, thanking the fundraisers who had made her dream come true. Now, Mike sees this video and is truly touched. He shares it immediately with all his friends. And you see, Mike is caring. But more importantly, this caring is sustained, because he will see the Fundraid application on his browser every day. And the money in his donation jar will accumulate every day. And he will be reminded to do good every day. Fundraid can make this happen. In fact, we've already started. We have an amazingly driven and talented team, and together we can effectively develop our venture. Each of our specialists bring their own division of talent onto our table. And more importantly, though, we're all inspired by an undying desire to inspire compassion in the first world and instill hope in the third world by uniting them through Fundraid. Now, to further help us handle our risks associated with the venture, we have put together a stellar board of advisors. And here they are: As you can see, they're all leaders and innovators in their own fields, and they've helped us accelerate and cover our grounds, and we're making great progress. We have Office Space, our second home. We share this building here with Google and dozens of other successful startups with whom we built strategic relationships. Here we're connected to diverse networks and phenomenal resources that enable us.
So now that you've seen Fundraid in action and have seen the people that are making this happen, let's look at the numbers as a result of their efforts. As defined before, there are three key stakeholders: the users, the advertisers, which bring in the revenue, and the charities that collect the donations. In 2012, Fundraid will get 15,000 users to sign up. That will cost us $3,600 in advertising expenses. An additional $6,000 will be spent to perfect our platform. For revenue, Fundraid will spend $1,500 in sales expenses towards advertisers to get them to bring in $5,400 in revenue. And that, by donating it at 50%, Fundraid will give $2,700 towards charity. Now, keeping the current revenue and expenses, Fundraid will close 2012 at a loss of $8,700. But shortly after, it will break even in the first quarter of 2013. Moving on to the 5-year projections, as said before, in 2012, Fundraid will bring in 15,000 users. And that will then progressively grow to 1.8 million users by 2016. For revenue, 2012 is the testing ground for Fundraid. We're trying to get in smaller campaigns to familiarize them with Fundraid. In 2013, after seeing the success of their ads, we expect an increase in advertisers as well as the campaign size they're buying, bringing in an additional revenue of $228,000. And that will progressively grow to the price of $7.9 million in 2016. In terms of donations, Fundraid is donating $2,700 in 2012. But keeping it at 50% of our revenue, Fundraid will finally bring in $3.9 million in donations in the year of 2016.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the future of Fundraid is golden. It is a win-win solution that champions social philanthropy while satisfying a business need. There's so much potential here. We're already average at 5 user signups a day. In the last month alone, we brought in 200 new signups. The market needs us, and our team is ready to deliver. Now, all we need is you guys. We are here today to invite you all to join one of the most innovative social enterprises on the horizon. We hope that you're on board and will help us share our story. We ask for your evangelism and your support to help grow Fundraid into a household name. And together, we can make this world a better place with Fundraid, where you can do good every day. Thank you, guys. And we're open to any questions.
Yes.
One of the keys that you have in this whole process is the information you get from the user at the very beginning and how much information they're willing to give you, because that's going to be kind of the core. What have you seen so far? Because you're going to have additional levels, I saw. You have core level, basic level, and then you're going to increase the levels of information. How willing are people to give you that? Is there confidentiality issues? I mean, you're not going for Social Security numbers, I know that, but
Yep.
But what are you going to get?
All right. So
We're
we're going after, although this platform is universal and anybody can sign up and any advertiser can advertise to any target market, but we're going after students in particular. And students, fortunately, are very open to these things. The Facebook platform, when you sign up, you sync it with your Facebook, Fundraid platform. When you sign up, you sync it with your Facebook account. So anything they made public on Facebook, they just transfers over. They get a chance to look at it, so they can take out something that's either irrelevant or they don't want to be put on, and boom, that's their profile. And anytime they can go back and they can change it, And in terms of privacy, this is actually doing better than what everybody else does. Other advertising companies, they try to kind of figure out who the user is based on their history and try to track them without them knowing. And that leads them to a situation of distrust. I mean, where is this ad coming from? How do they know that I might need this, or what's going on? But with Fundraid, they know. They put their profile up. That's exactly where it's coming from. If you see something you don't like, you can tell us not to show this. If you have something you want to update on your profile, go there, and everything is clear and transparent.
And Fundraid, our vision is our social impact. So we want to work together with the users that sign up with us to help them better manage their ads and improve their online viewing experience. At the same time, empower them to do good every day.
One of your slides showed that you have a much larger team. How did you go about determining who got to come do this part of it? And then expand that a little bit to talk about the importance of role clarification and the way you guys have worked through that.
Right. Our current team, and I guess I'll move back to that slide quickly. Our current team has, total 7 members. And I started this kind of idea in September, and I sat down and coded and developed the entire platform into a model. In January, Marilyn joined me, and we've launched our alpha. Afterwards, we got these students to join. These students are currently working, actually, on a volunteer basis. See, we went up to them, and we told them about Fundraid's idea, and it's been amazing at Laurier, because people have been loving the concept. And these students, senior and all of these are like presidents of clubs, and they're very versed in the top years of their programs. And they're like, instead of donating their time to clubs that they've already kind of been doing in first, second, third year, they're going to just spend the same amount on a startup that has a bigger impact. Yeah. So it's testing ground. We're going to be launching it. We're working together, and hopefully most of these will then join us into the venture after they finish and after they graduate. That's pretty much our team structure.
And just to add that, we're so appreciative of our team. They're all volunteers. They're so determined because they stand for what the cause is and what we all stand for. And, as Josefa mentioned, Prasanna is the president of DECA. Encore is the president of one of the social enterprises on our campus. Varun, he is going for his CA designation. And just these guys, and we wanted to provide an environment that's best for them. So we actually developed a culture within Fundraid. It's called the Fundraid Genius Lab, and they are our specialists. Yeah. So we give them the freedom and autonomy to help build their skills as well as helping Fundraid. So we're just very appreciative.
Yeah. All right, question.
Go ahead. Okay, so not to try to get too technical, and I don't want to pretend to be technical here, but I'm going to fake it for a minute.
Yes.
It seems that as folks surf the net more and more, it's less via a browser, and it's more, I'm just going to go directly to this site and then to this site. Bookmarks, as an example, are more and more prevalent. Does that pose a risk to your strategy? And if so, why or why not?
It doesn't, because even if you go through a bookmark, you're going to a website, and it replaces the ad on it after you go to a website. So as long as you're going through your computer, that's fine. Any website, any page, anything you've always been doing is totally compatible. There is no need for any change in habits. There's no need for, it's unintrusive and it's nice. As a matter of fact, people are moving towards tablets and browsers too. And I mean, our platform is so scalable. All we need, of course, first, we're not gonna get ahead of ourselves. We're gonna make sure we prove ourselves on the browser market. But all we need is an app for a phone, and that's it. Our technology is transferable, and it works on the mobile market as well. Yeah. Sorry.
Your reach goes from 15,000 to 1.8 million
yes.
in a few years. That's not crazy, and it's not low. How does that happen? I mean, how does the first person get to the second person, get to the third person? That's one question. The other one, what was the donation jar? I didn't see a picture, or what was that? But anyway, first, how do you grow? And then second,
the growth jar is network effects, so it's exponential, which means each new member in our platform adds value to everybody else. It grows exponentially always. That's what happened with Facebook, with Instagram.
So Paul will know about me?
Well, he will know if you know each other in real life, then he will suggest it to you. But what I'm saying is, let's say Paul signs up and he has an account at Fundraid and he's collecting money, he will let his friends know, because once he's donating, it comes up on the Facebook profile. People know, oh, guess what? Paul is helping build a school in Latin America, fund a water well in Africa, and sponsor an orphanage in Asia. And people see this and people are like, okay, so you talk to them about, and that's how it grows socially. And this kind of expansion, it hits certain levels. Once you get to a point where you've proved a little bit, and it gets picked up by any social blog, any startup blog, and they blog about it, and then it expands from there. It explodes and it keeps exploding because that's how technology is working these days.
And that's the beauty of social kind of transformers such as Fundraid, is that exponential growth that you will see with the network effect. We actually do have a few strategies in place first. Obviously, our first target market is university, so we are establishing a back-to-school campaign in September to help get all the North American universities on board and just penetrating that whole all-week market there. And also, on top of that, we are currently working with charities to help expedite our user base. In fact, one of our judges from the original round came up to us after our presentation, and he had a charity, so he came up to us to ask if he can be involved as one of the projects, and he has a following of 5,000 users, so he can add, it's just a way for them to raise money for their own charity just by signing up, and it helps their ad viewing experience. So we hope to expedite this growth that way as well, and from there we just hope that it will take off. Yes.
Any other questions? Yes.
So are the when you talk about the charities, how vetted though are they? I mean, obviously, good person came up yesterday and said that, but vetting the charities would be very important.
Exactly, and that's a great question actually. Two things, sorry, thank you, a minute. First of all, foremost, obviously all the charities that go through us have to be registered, certified, following all government regulations. And number two, we actually established a scorecard. So we're actually working with a few organizations who rate charities on their performance based on a few different scales. With that, we hope to get the most credible charities, the ones that have the most scaled impact. And more importantly, we want charities on board that have sustainable impact, so sustainable development that will last. And that's been what we've been using to evaluate. Mm-hmm. And just one more point in addition to that, we actually hope to kind of champion this movement for charity organizations to become more transparent and interactive with their supporters, because it's key. A lot of us, we donate, and we're not sure where the money really goes, and that kind of discourages some of us from donating. So we hope to change that as well.
Please join me in thanking Wilfrid Laurier.